What's good, YouTube? And welcome to a take apparently too hot for Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitter. I'm the bad guy, so had to go Mechagodzilla for this one. I said enough time has passed to digest it. As it stands, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rarity Collection 5 is on the same path as Rarity Collection 2 failure, unless there are either frame breaks or some much bigger announcements. If it flops, it will be the final straw for many shops ordering our game. Now, the format's pretty good. People are enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh! YCS attendance is doing very well, but product is in the sink and down the drain. We've seen Black Friday sale, $20 boxes for almost every core set this year. APS posted it up. We've seen product just where it's under what the distributors are selling it to stores. They're taking a loss, and if you've been through our comment section, you've been online, you've seen a lot of locals are not carrying Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point, and it's because of how it's been performing. I think this is what people are going to try to order a lot of, because Rarity Collection 3 and 4 were so big, and 2, well, it failed because of that MSRP, right? It's actually more expensive per card in Rarity Collection 3 and onward than in Rarity Collection 2. People just swallow the pill easier when it comes to these packs because the pools were that much better than 2s. Now, I've been accused of rage baiting, and this is a quote tweet on me. Nostalgia QCRs carried Stampede. We're not getting Nostalgia QCRs right now, and those cards were useless. No, they're not useless. They're actually really loved by the community, and then the door got shut over on past formats being officially supported. We just need a few good reprints in general, and the product sells well. I agree that good reprints are in my unless, right? Like, I think that if you put all the Mulch Armies and the Dominus cards, and they're in here too, and they're in the tournament mainstays, this set can do decent. And I hope I'm wrong at this point. Why I'm bringing it up now is it's the last window Konami has to change this product. And I do know they tune in to both my Twitter. I see an employee actually like a lot of my tweets, and they also come and watch my YouTube. With this being the final window before it goes into the production and printing, this is the last chance they have to change things. And I would say if I'm a store, I would be pulling back my orders because of statistics. First off, these altar arts. A lot of them have competing arts, but let's start with the reprints announced. We have Chaos Angel to Kashtira Fenrir, C104 to Memento. Like, these are decent reprints, but they don't sell a set. A lot of people are gonna buy the single and not go for packs to get after these cards. Fenrir is like a $12 card, and it already has a high rarity OTS ultimate. Similarly, Chaos Angel is a bit more towards 30, but its ultimate's not that far ahead. So we have 2 OTS ultis on these. Will Starlights outperform those? Most likely, by how we've seen the trend going, but these will come down and those will adjust in price. It's not like it's going to be clearly just way ahead of this current price. C104 needed a reprint for a long time, but the thing is, the moment you do reprint it, you're going to bleed value. You really should be doing that, and I think we can all agree these cards could use another reprint or reprint in general for this one, and that they're good for the game to reprint, but they're not chase stars that sell a set. And then the Memento, it really popped off earlier this year. It already has a QCR to compete with a Starlight that it could be getting. So you have that going for it, and the dynamic that we're going to see, and a ton of these altar arts. They're zoomed in, changed backgrounds. They're not true altars. Now, Konami could be adding in, say, the real altars like Live Twins and stuff somewhere into the set's pool that people would chase after. I don't think that would sell the set alone, but I do think it would be good for the set. I think there's some memeability to this, yes, no, but that's some of the only English on the cards from Japan unless they change these arts. Kanji can't be read by most people over here. A lot of people don't collect OCG cards in the States for that reason. I can't read the card. Oh, that ultimate rare Jinzo, that ultimate rare Summon Skull in your collection looks so cool, John, but they don't go and hunt these things out for themselves. So what would you guess the average collector is doing with OCG cards? I would say only 1 out of 100 might have a bit of a collection of them, and maybe 1 out of 1,000 goes for a really big one. I'm of course just making up these statistics based off of what I've seen at events. Not a lot of OCG cards in people's binders or people talking about them at all. When they pop up online, they generate interest, but overall they don't do too well. So let's go ahead and talk about these choices so far that we see in the pool there. Trishula has a Starlight rare that was used to import and sell a set, then a QCR that was out of Rarity 2 that became pretty easy access and is cheap, has an ulti and a DT version competing with it. Are people going to go for the new version for the meme ability? Sure, somewhat, but where is it going to land? Above $20 for Trishula when its current QCR is around 5 out of a Rarity Collection? Also out of Rarity Collection, Crossout already has a QCR that has bled the value over time versus its usage. IP Masquerena has a QCR, and a Starlight, and the current art they're using and zooming in on, it is already QCR'd. Compulse already has a QCR. Zeus has a QCR, an ultimate from OTS. It also then has another quarter century and a Starlight on the art being used. It's just, again, zoomed in on, background change. That's the difference in art. Rarity Collection 2 is what I'm comparing this to directly because of this. When we look at this, it actually had some star reprints like Droll and Lockbird for the time in a highest rarity competing with its OTS ulti that's still ahead of it. Then you also have Masquerena, which was somewhat big. You had Magician's Souls. A lot of people just throw this in the stinker as a set that lost its value due to its picks. But Konami was so shook, they changed the name of Rarity Collection for the last two sets to Quarter Century, Stampede, and Bonanza, and they actually then added the full nostalgia pool to try to create big chases outside of this more guaranteed pool on getting it all. And I think a lot of choices in here were really good that appear on the front page. Gold Sark was a prize card, Aluber's pretty nice. You have Book of Eclipse, which keeps finding its way back into metagames. Ghost Girls over here. Like, this did pretty well in terms of its picks, but it had an upped MSRP that was hard to swallow to buy more all at once for people, and they didn't like that. They didn't like a $10 Yu-Gi-Oh pack, even though you'll see people go pick up Kaiba Collection off the shelves right now on its rewave because they've never opened it and Kaiba's on the front. Those are also $10 packs, some of the most expensive in all of Yu-Gi-Oh. However, again, per card, this cost more. Now, there's a little bit of hope in the set description, basically saying, well, there's going to be more that we're going to announce. There are other surprises in Rarity Collection 2, but more about that later. That's why I am saying right now, you need to bring it, Konami. You need to look at this set and bring the whole platter, because as it stands right now, off of the choices that are leading, where stores have to decide in that window, okay, how much of this do I order for my community? They're going to risk thousands of dollars and once again go for a set that the last two were bangers. It was one of the only sets that sold last year. It's my chance to make some money back after all of this has left and really help my community. That's what they're banking on. And again, if I was a store that was tuned in to everything, this currently is not what is going to sell a set. And it will end up looking like this, which $60 box doesn't sound too bad versus the rest. This was $180 MSRP on the 18 packs that would be inside that box. Also weird set structure. That's 1/3 value and under what distro was selling it to stores. Another loss. But that's for a previous year where it was a little more unusual. I'm not rage baiting. I don't do that with analytical discussions. I am hoping within this window, Konami takes a good, hard look at the discussion, at what actually sells sets, and goes, okay, maybe it's time to actually try to really push Konami Japan and let us put frame breaks in here. Or maybe it really does need a little extra X factor, and I could be wrong, they already have this planned or something, and all the Mulch Armies and the Dominus cards, they've been resold once, let's put them all in here again. I'm hoping it's something like that, and that is actually a banger set. That's what I want for stores, it's what I want to happen, and it's why I'm having this discussion now, is I hope it heads that direction, because as it stands right now, it's not there. And that's my take for the day, but it is from an analytical place. It is not from anywhere of just trying to ha ha ha, like I'm dooming, like no. This is bad as it stands right now, and that little line from Konami is what's really going to have to carry this entire set. And we've seen them do misdirection with that before, and we've also seen them pull and come through and it be amazing.